Time for Hinds to Go, an editorial by Juliet Davey. To resist it is like going against the force of nature, a powerful wind that has taken the hills by storm. Let's face it, long before Karim Marcel showed an interest to run for the Laventille West seat, there has been a groundswell of calls for the Laventille West MP and National Security Min, Fitzgerald Hinds and to go. The call is twofold and indicative of what has been described as his lackluster performance. Noticeably and interestingly, the noises has not been only coming from the opposition, but from a large cross-section of the population, including PNM diehard supporters and Laventillians. The consensus is time for Hinds to go. No brief, no apology. Luckily for me, and unlike so many others, I am free to express myself without having to look over my shoulders, wondering who is going to come for me and my earthly possessions. Because by not supporting Hinds means you are supporting PEP, UNC, NTA, or some other party besides the PNM, and you would be punished. I hold no brief for MP Hinds. In fact, I am on record repeatedly defending him, like when certain miscreants kicked water on him in Beetham. I condemned it then, and I have maintained up to today that it was hooligan behavior instigated by UNC operatives, well known to MP Rudal Munalal. Therefore, I refuse to be apologetic for having an opinion that doesn't favor MP Hinds and his interest to return as the candidate for the PNM stronghold of Laventille West. And it doesn't have to be the candidate, Karim Marcel, that I have publicly supported. However, the wind of change is beckoning the PNM to listen to the voice of the people. If not Hinds, who? My understanding is that there are 3 nominees in the race, a young female doctor apart from Hinds and Marcel, whose father ran against Maurice Marshall in 1995 on a NAR ticket. However, whilst very little is known of her and her work, one contender that has left his mark on the nation is attorney Karim Marcel, who is growing in popularity because of the yeoman service he has been giving to his community and country. In a recent interview with Daniel Lovelace of What You Know, Marcel described himself as an attorney by profession, businessman, and alderman. He forgot to mention philanthropic. Last evening, I attended the semi-finals of the 100 Zio Zoner Griot football tournament hosted by Marcel on the Beetham, and I was amazed at what this young man has achieved in putting this event together that saw teams participating from all parts of the country. Apart from being well attended, it was well organized and a testimony that he has the ability to manage on a large scale and the envy of bringing diverse groups together for one common good. Imagine moving on to the finals is a team south of the Coroni set to take home the coveted price of $100,000. Time will tell. This country is crying out for better minds among the youth population. The PM, Dr. Keith Rowley, in his wisdom, established the first ever Ministry of Youth Development National Service, headed by MP for La Horquetta Talparo Foster Cummings, who took it and made it the most attractive ministry in the Gov today. A lot of young men are turning to a life of crime, and criminality has engulfed Laventille and the East-West corridor, to which there must be a critical turnaround. These two powerhouses represents the intervention that is needed to take back our communities, with the promise of $100 to reach out to the youths. With no disrespect to MP Hinds, but the situation is an indictment that the constituency is in urgent need of a phenomenal representative with a revolutionized and energized approach. Not only is Hinds over 65 years a pensioner, but he has not showed any signs that he has adjusted to a much more youthful, enlightened, and liberated Laventille to be able to meet their needs and demands. However, time will tell whether it's the same old, or whether Laventille will get the opportunity to breathe again.